So I've decided to separate this problem into two videos because some people were having trouble finding the slope and other people were having trouble finding the equation of a line. So I decided to separate it so that those who are struggling with the first part of the problem can refer to the first video, and those who are struggling with the second part of the problem can go to this video. However, you can obviously go through both of them, and it's just going to continue where I left off. So now we've found our slope, and we know our equation of the line. We have 2 points here, and we only need one, because if you look at our equation of the line, we have a y value, an m value, and an x. What we don't have is our b. So we have to find that b value before we can create our equation. So we found the m, we have x and y. In fact, we have 2 points of x and y. So now we need to find our b. So let's start by writing what we know. We know the equation of a line is y is equal to mx plus b. You can use either point for this part of the problem. However, I'm going to use the first point, not for any particular reason, but just because it's the first one. If you feel more comfortable with using the second one, you may go ahead and do that as well. So let me go ahead and label my points x and y, so I know which is which. And let me plug in everything that I know. So I know my y is 0. I know my m is -3/2. I know my x value is 2. And my b value is what I am trying to find. So let's go ahead and multiply. When we're multiplying fractions next to each other, we know that we have to multiply straight across. However, this is not a fraction, but I can make it a fraction. If I put this over 1, now I have a fraction, and we can multiply straight across. Well, what is -3 times 2? That gives me -6. 2 times 1 gives me 2. And then I'm going to continue by writing what I know. And then I'm going to go from there. Well, how many times does 2 go into 6? 2 goes into 6 3 times. However, we can't forget that we have a negative. I'm still trying to find my b, and I still have this 0 on the left-hand side. So how do we get rid of this number? How do I get this number to go to the other side of the equation? Well, since this is a negative, I have to add 3 to both sides. And let me actually do that in a different color. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. -3 plus 3, well, that gives me 0. 0 plus 3 gives me 3. And now I have found my b value. Now I have found my b. So I have a b. I have an m. So now I can create my equation. Once again, my equation of the line is y is equal to mx plus b. So I need to plug in my m value, and I need to plug in my b value to get my equation. So y is equal, m was -3/2. I'm going to leave my x value, and then this is going to be plus 3. So now I have found my equation of the line. My final answer. So the second part of the homework gives you an equation and it asks you to graph it. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this problem so that we know how to do that. Well, we know that my m value is always the number before the x, which is also my slope. And we know that our b, which is also our y-intercept, is always the number at the end. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have y is equal to negative 3 over 2 x plus 3. And I'm going to label what I know. My 3 is my y-intercept. And my 3/2 is my slope. So let's go ahead and graph that. Just going to write a few points. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is my x value, and this is my y. Okay, so we know we always have to start with our y-intercept. So we start on the y-axis, and we have to go on the y-axis at the third point because our point is 3. So let's go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be our first point. Now our slope tells us how much to go up and how much to go down. Our rise over run, that's what we call it. This means that since this is a negative, I'm going to go down because that's going in the negative direction. So let's start by going down 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Now I have to go sideways 2 points because that's the bottom part of my fraction. However, this 2 is positive. So since I went down 3 to account for that negative, I'm going to go to the right 2 points. 1, 2. And that puts me at this point right over here. So now you can grab a straight edge. It does not have to be a ruler per se. If you have the side of a clipboard or a notebook or a textbook, that can work as well. And we're going to line up those 2 points and draw a line through them. And now we have graphed our equation of the line. Keep in mind, some of the problems will give you not a fraction in front of it. It will give you a whole number. So let's say this number right here was like a 4. Well, we know how to make a number into a fraction like we did over here. We just put it over 1. So if this number was a 4, we would put that over 1. And now we know that we would go up 4 points and to the right 1 point. So that's the only difference. Let me know if you guys have any more questions, and I will be glad to make more videos on more problems or on anything else that you guys may not understand.